Welcome to today's video, in which I will once again be talking about this beautiful camera, which is the Fuji X100 VI. And listen, I know that I said in my last video that I won't make any more review videos or any videos of that sort about the Fuji X100 VI in the near future again, but there is this one question that just keeps popping up again and again in my comments and also in my DMs. And so I thought that it would probably be worth addressing that question. And that question is about the quality issues of the Fujifilm X100 VI. Now, ever since the Fujifilm X100 VI was released earlier this year, there has been quite a bit of controversy about this camera, mostly focused on the lack of availability of this camera, but also in regards to the fact that Fujifilm decided to produce this camera in China instead of in Japan, where all of its previous X100 line of cameras were made. Now, some say that Fujifilm did this to cut cost, others say that they did it in order to be able to put out higher volumes of this highly sought after camera. Who can tell really? I don't know. What's more important though is the question of, did this decision affect the overall build quality of the Fuji X100 VI? Now, this is not my first X100 camera. In fact, it is my third one. I started out with the Fujifilm X100F back in the days, and then I later on upgraded to the Fuji X100V as soon as that was announced, and I used that camera for quite a lot of years. And I used both of those cameras in all kinds of conditions, even in the pouring rain, and I've never had any issues with any of those cameras. In fact, I think that the high build quality and the overall just very high quality feel of those cameras were probably some of their biggest selling points. And so over the years, Fujifilm has built a reputation for themselves that they are able to put out high quality cameras that are built very well, look incredible, and that are fun to use and able to put out fantastic images. So the question now is if Fujifilm will be able to continue along those lines, even though they moved their production facility for the Fujifilm X100 VI to China or not. But mind you that Fujifilm also increased the price of the Fujifilm X100 VI compared to the X100V, its predecessor, by quite a substantial margin. And I gotta admit, that's not exactly a great look on their part. Well, with all that being said though, what has it been like using the Fujifilm X100 VI? For me, have there been any quality issues? And well, what can I tell you? I've owned this camera for pretty much exactly 4 weeks now, and I've been using it for both taking photos and also shooting some videos. And in the time that I've been using it, I haven't had any performance issues whatsoever. So the autofocus is, well, mediocre, but I don't think that that is a build quality issue. That's kind of just a general issue, if you like. But there have been no issues in terms of the camera heating up or overheating. It doesn't really even get warm in my experience, but mind you, we are still at the end of winter here in Germany, so I cannot really tell you anything about the performance of this camera in hotter climates. The only slight quality issue that I could find on my camera is that the screen doesn't seem to be perfectly fitted to the housing of the camera. At least I think that's the issue, because there is a slight gap in the upper right corner where I can press the screen in for a millimeter or two. Nothing too bad, but noticeable nonetheless, and I can't remember having that issue with my Fujifilm X100V. Now maybe that's just my model and other models don't have that issue, but from what I could gather when looking around the internet in forums and watching other people's videos about this camera, I think that most issues that are reported of the Fuji X100 VI are in regards to the screen. Or again, overheating, but as I said earlier, that doesn't seem to be an issue on my model. So is that quality issue, if you can even call it that, a deal breaker for me? No, absolutely not. I don't think it affects the overall usability of the camera in any way. Honestly, if I haven't been looking for this issue, I might not have even noticed it, but it's certainly there, and I do get why people are kind of fussed about it, especially when they are paying that kind of money for a premium fixed lens camera. Again, for me though, that issue would not keep me from buying this camera. Again, I still think that it is a very well-made camera that performs outstandingly and just pretty much does everything that I wanted it to do. With that being said though, I would be curious to know if you already have a Fujifilm X100 VI and if you have any of those issues or maybe any other issues and what your experience has been like. And also I would be curious to know if the fact that Fujifilm has moved their production facility from Japan to China, at least for the X100 does affect your purchasing decision. Again, let me know in the comments down below. I would be very curious to find out your opinions on those subjects. But anyway, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye.